Hey, everybody. It is yours truly, Dr. Shamika Dean. Y'all come on in. Come on in on this beautiful Sunday. As you're tuning in, make sure you let me know where you're tuning in from. And yeah, shout your city out in the comment section. And then listen, also do me a favor and share, invite others to join and watch this broadcast. Um, because listen, if it blesses you, it's going to bless somebody connected to you. Okay. So yeah, make sure that you invite others to join and watch this broadcast and comment and let me know where you are tuning in from so that I can see your beautiful faces and make sure that I acknowledge you before I actually get into the content. For those of you all who are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you don't know who I am a marketing solutionist. So I help service based entrepreneurs create a marketing and automation plan that teaches them how to hang up the hustle because I believe that rest is the new revenue. And so, how I do this is I help them to launch create a scalable solution, which is multiple ways to get paid without increasing their time. And then I teach them a marketing and automation plan where they can automate 90% of their sales so that they only have to work 10% of the time. So, that's what I'm great at. That's what I do. That's what I love doing. Hey, Alicia from Milwaukee. She says snow is finally here. We got some snow um a couple of last week. We got some snow. And so it's pretty outside now. Of course, it's cold, but the weather is clear and pleasant. Um But again, I wanted to again say, welcome. And I'd also want to just again give a huge thank you to everyone who purchased a copy of my brand new book, Market Like a Mogul, The Map to Millions Marketing Strategy. Because of you guys, because of your support, um, we were actually able to hit number one bestseller in the new release for marketing and business. The ebook was released on yesterday. I wanted to show a quick photo. I didn't know it was going to block my face out. But I wanted to show a quick photo. But we hit the number one bestsellers thanks to all of your support. If you purchased the ebook, then it was delivered to your device on yesterday. All right. So it's delivered to your device on yesterday. And so check your device, whichever device you decided to use to or purchase your copy, check your device there. I also announced if you purchased a copy, listen, I need you to make some noise in the comment section because I just want to, again, just thank you for your support because, of course, this would not have been possible had it not been for you. So, hey, Serena. Hey, Rhonda. Okay. So, again, it wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for you, if it weren't for your support. And so, hey, Jamie, thank you. Again, we hit the number one bestsellers list because of people like seeing and supporting. And that's how we actually are able to continue to make impacts. Not only that, we have our brand new box, our Market Like a Mogul box here that we're releasing it for bundle purchase as well for those who register for our book launch, which is going to be February 22nd. And so I just wanted to kind of show you all, this is the inside of the box. I'm not going to show you all the content yet, but this is what the box looks like. Again, y'all know my quote is that marketing is not magic, it's strategic. In the inside is the subtitle for the book, The Map to Millions Marketing Strategy. And then on the front of the box, of course, is the website. And the top of the box is Market Like a Mogul. And inside of the box, we actually have our lucrative launch magazine. We have our mini journal. We have our Market Like a Mogul method, which is a game, actually a content creation game. We have our bookmark, a book, and there will also be a T-shirt inside of the box for those who support and purchase their copy. So yeah, I'm super excited. This has been an amazing project. Again, if you haven't purchased your copy, you can go to my website shamikadean.com and purchase there, and you can also register for the book launch, which is on February 26th. All right. So real quick, let me get into our content, our topic for today. I want to talk about there's value in your voice. And so I'm just going to share real quick my uh testimony and kind of where I am now, right? So many of you may not know this, but I actually started speaking about 10 years ago. I was a keynote speaker for a women's empowerment movement called um, Blue Eyeshadow Production. And so that is when I first got my feet wet in the speaking world. And I had many people to tell me, all of these good things, all of these prophetic words, and all of these things, oh, you're an amazing speaker. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. However, every time I would get ready to speak, I would get extremely nervous and nauseous. I would get sick to my stomach to the point to where I would pray. I would do it because I wanted to face the fear, but I was so sick and nervous that I just really wanted to get it over with. Now, every time I would speak, thankfully there were lives changed, people's lives were impacted. And that's always, that's the goal, right? When you speak, you don't speak just to be heard, you speak because you want to impact lives. And so, although I was getting feedback, there was always this voice in my head that was, telling me that I shouldn't be doing this, I couldn't be doing this. And there was always this voice in my head that people were going to laugh at me, right? And so the reason I had this voice in my head about people laughing is because when I was in the third grade, I tried out for the spelling bee. And back then, when you tried out for the spelling bee, in order for you to make it to the final round where you competed in front of the entire school, they would allow you to compete in each one of your homeroom classes. And so whoever won inside of the homeroom class would then go to compete in the auditorium in front of the entire school. I was always an amazing speller. I made 100 on every test. Didn't have a problem, with spelling. However, this particular time, I had a word to spell. I had the words. I knew all of the words as I was practicing at home. When I got to school that day, I went up to the front of the classroom. The teacher gave me the word. I spelled the word. She looked at me and she said, "That's not, it's not, the word was decided." Okay. Decided. And I spelled the word Dicided. And so the teacher looked at me and she said, it's not Dicided. Are you stupid? Right. And so when she said that, of course, the entire class erupted in laughter. I'm a whole bucket of tears, right? And I go back to my seat. But in that moment, I made a vow that I would never put myself in a position like that again. Not only that, I had some other traumatic incidents that happened in my life where um, my voice was violated, and there was always something that was after my voice to silence the validity and the value of my voice, right? And so I went throughout life um, at for a long period of time. I questioned the value of my voice. I questioned the validity of my voice. I didn't have the confidence to really um, say what I wanted to say, mean it, and stand on what I wanted, stand on what I said. I would always second guess myself. So for a long time, even when I would say things or I would go to speak, I would always have this deep inner critic that caused me to question myself, question the value of what I put out, question the validity of what I was saying. And again, it was because there were different incidents that happened in my life. And so the reason I'm sharing this is because, of course, on the journey of me truly using my voice and understanding why there was always an attack uh, for my voice is because our voices have value. I want y'all to type that in the comment. My voice has value, because our voice is so powerful that even our faith, is voice activated, right? When we begin to speak and what we desire to see, even when if what we see is not tangibly, we can't see it tangibly, but even our faith is voice activated. And all of the things that we say about ourselves, um it becomes a reality for us. And I always say that language is a locator. You all know that that's one of my quotes that I quote often, that language is a locator. And so the reason there's so much value in our voice is because when we begin to speak, it goes out and locates and leads to us whatever we tell it to. So whether we are saying something negative, whether we are saying something positive, whether we are saying something uplifting, whether we're saying something that tears us down, it begins to locate and lead to us what we're telling it to. And that's because, again, our voice has so much value. But when you do not value, when you don't understand the value of your voice, or you don't value your own voice, then you'll find yourself shrinking back. You'll find yourself not doing what you know you're called and created to do, because you do not truly believe in the value or the validity of your voice. And so I really came on here to just share my journey with you all, because on the other side, people from the outside looking in, they're like, oh my gosh, she's going live all the time. Oh my gosh, she's having these events. Oh my gosh, she's speaking here. She's doing this. I've done a TED talk. I've been on Steve Harvey. I've, been a speaker for Thinkific, which is one of the largest membership platforms to date. I've been on a TubeBuddy, which is also is one of the number one extensions, companies that provide browser extensions to. So I've been in a lot of places, a lot of rooms, on a lot of platforms. I've spoken in front of hundreds and hundreds of women before. And on the outside looking in, people would think that because you're on the stage and you're choosing to move, that you're already there, or that you've like made it, or you've accomplished it. However, it took me 10 years to even fully accept my call to the stage. Okay. So I want to share that. And that's what I'm doing today. It took me 10 years, and this 10 years just happened recently. Okay. So hold on. I got to get in this chair right. So I'll share this. Excuse me. So back in August, I spoke in front of one of the largest audience that I'd ever spoken in front of before, outside of events that I had planned on my own. And this audience was close to 400 women from all over the world. And I stood on the stage and I spoke into the lives of those women, and the impact was so intense. Of course, there were women that were coming and they were sharing things with me of how what I taught them and what I said to them, how it greatly impacted their life. And I was just like, okay, cool, right? And excuse me, you would have thought that would have been it, that solidified it, right? No. Okay. uh I gave God a yes to go to the stage, and then I took that yes back after I got off of the stage. Okay. And then so in October, I ended up having an invitation to another event that was a completely different style of event. So one event was heavily more so on the ministry side. The other one was business, right? So they were two completely different audiences. And I'm going to share all of this with you all so that you'll understand what I'm saying. So there were two completely different audiences. And so when I spoke at the event in October, the impact intensified, it increased, right? So it was intense at the event in August, it increased at the event in October. And it was at the event in October that I had given God a solid yes, a secure, a sure yes in that moment, because the impact that was made was in a way that I had never seen it before. So and the reason I say that is because, again, there were two different audiences, and for a long time I had convinced myself that my voice will only be accepted in one audience or the other audience. And so what God was saying to me, he said, the value of your voice, that value is going to be impactful no matter what audience you stand in front of, right? And so whether you stand here and you're in an audience where it's heavily ministry, or you stand here and you're in front of an audience where it's business. The value of your voice is going to ring through whatever audience that you're in, because the value that you have is within. It's never been about the audience that you stand in front of. It's within, because the value that you have, it comes from above, right? And so, anywho, I gave God, a sure yes in October after I spoke at that event. And prior to that, I had a friend of mine that came to me and she said, I know you teach marketing, you're good at marketing. She said, but you are a phenomenal speaker. And your impact is in your voice, right? When you speak, people's lives are changed. When you speak, people move. When you open your mouth, you are influencing people. You are very influential. And I've always known that I was an influencer in some capacity. I'm not talking about, like social media influencers. I believe that we are all influenced, whether we influence people negatively or positively, we are all influenced. But what she did was she solidified the value of my voice, right? She came and confirmed what God was showing me. And so over the excuse me, over the next couple of months, I had been going through a process of really truly understanding the value of my voice. Why do you need me to speak? And here's what's crazy. Y'all still with me? Hey, Desiree. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Tiffany, Devonna, Alicia. And so here's what's so crazy, y'all. Um, when I said yes, and this is what I try to tell people, a lot of times we think that because we see someone operating in their purpose and what they're called and created to do, for some reason we believe that they don't go through anything. That is so far from the truth. Let me tell y'all something. The moment I said yes, the moment I said, okay, I'm going to use my voice, I'm going to go and step on the stage and I'm going to do what you've called me to do. I'm going to use my voice to impact and influence lives globally, nationwide, worldwide. As soon as that happened, y'all know what? I ended up having a severe allergic reaction. The first time I had a severe allergic reaction in my face, right? Well, actually it started in my scalp and it spread down to my ears. My face was swollen, my lips were swollen, my neck, and all of that. Okay. So then that was when I gave God the first yes about speaking. And that's when I took the yes back. Okay. And then the second time I gave him a yes, guess what happened? My my voice started going out, like just randomly. It just literally, I would be talking and my voice would just go mute in mid conversation. It would come back after a while, but then I could talk and it would go out again completely. I have gone to ear, nose, and throat specialists. I've gone through several different doctors, allergy tests, you name it. They don't know what's going on. So then I gave God another yes recently to when I said I gave him another yes in October, gave him another yes, and guess what happened? My face broke out again. My face literally right now is still healing. You all can't really see it because of the lighting, good lighting, but all of these were dark spots all over the side, and you can still see it a little bit on that side. So again, my face broke out again out of nowhere. They still don't know what is going on, right? And so, excuse me, I was in my initial reaction or my response to this could have been, you know what? I'm not doing it because every time I go to do this, do that, this happens, right? And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to do it anyway, because the only reason that it was happening was to instill fear so that I would forfeit, so that I would no longer understand or use the value of my voice to impact the lives of others. And so I'm here and I'm talking to you all because I understand that the more I open my mouth to speak, the more influence and impact is made. The more people are going to live in their purpose. The more people are going to impact the world. The more people are going to get out of places of fear and brokenness and bondage and all of those things. the more people are going to have the courage and the confidence to go and build the businesses that they've been created to build. The more people are going to be able to operate in authenticity and really truly impact this world just being themselves. Because here's the thing about voice, your voice has a very unique sound, right? Has a very unique sound. So when y'all hear my voice, even if you're not looking at me on video, 9 times out of 10, if you have followed me long enough, when I start talking, you know it's me, right? Your voice is so powerful and so valuable that it literally leaves a mark in people's lives everywhere that you go. And so um people may forget what you've done for them, right? They may forget what you said, but because your voice is so powerful, and this is one of my Angelo's quotes, one of my favorite quotes. She says, people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so what you say to people impacts their lives. It impacts how they feel about themselves, right? And you using your voice, it gives other people the confidence and the courage to use their voice. It gives them the confidence and the courage to be who they were called and created to be. It gives them the confidence and the courage to continue going when they feel like quitting and giving up, right? And so your voice is just that powerful, because again, your voice also signifies who you are. When you start opening your mouth, remember I said earlier that language is a locator. When you open your mouth and start talking, that your voice is telling people the things that they need to know about you. It's telling them that you may be the person that they have been asking God for. They may have been praying for somebody to help them do XYZ. And because you open your mouth and said what needed to be said, and you're moving the way that you're supposed to be moving, now they're knowing that you're the person that's supposed to help them, right? So I asked the question yesterday on Facebook. I asked people, I said, how, I believe the question was, why and where did you connect with me? And guess what most people said? Most people said that they connected to me because they heard me. They heard me on a YouTube video. They heard me talking about something in a video on Facebook. They saw me post something, because my voice is still as valuable if I type a status or if I'm doing a video. But here's the thing. Everyone said, "Oh, I heard you," or they would say, "I heard you speak at this event," or I heard you sharing your story about getting fired from your job. I heard you talking about how your marriage was restored. I heard you talking about whatever the case may be. But here's the thing, it continued to validate the value in my voice. Had I been silent, had I not shared that status, had I not done that video, all of the lives that were impacted wouldn't have been impacted in the way that they were had I not used my voice. And so I want you to say this again in the comment. There is value in my voice, because I need you to understand that your voice, again, is about your identity. Your voice is about your impact. Your voice is about your income. Your voice is also about your influence. Your voice is so valuable and so powerful. And so it's time for you to open your mouth and speak what you need to speak, do what you need to do, make your impact in this world by using the value of your voice. All right. So again, I want you to put that in the comments. There's value in my voice. Yes, there's value in my voice. There is value in my voice. I want you to continue to say that, because I want you to really grab hold of this and really really sit in that. And if you are somewhere where you can say this aloud, I want you to say it aloud. I don't want you to just type it. I want you to say it aloud. And as you say it, every time you say it, you're going to begin to believe what it is you're saying. And as you say it, I want you to put emphasis on every word that comes out of your mouth. There is value in my voice. Like, I want you to put emphasis on what you're saying, so that this can become real to you, so that you will stop allowing anything that has happened in your life to silence you and make you feel like what you say doesn't mean anything, right? or even who you're saying it to, that it doesn't have any impact. I was doing lives. There are only 4 people on one of these videos, and I guess there are some on the others too. But here's the thing. I was doing lives and talking to people when there was one person that was watching. I was posting content when I was getting one like, right? Because you have to continue to move forward, because what you truly believe is going to be revealed in what you do, right? So if I didn't believe there was value in my voice, when people weren't connecting to me, when they weren't liking or engaging or commenting, when they weren't purchasing my products, if I didn't believe in what I had, if I didn't believe I had any value, I would have stopped at the first sign of criticism. Don't let these numbers of followers fool you, okay? I have been criticized, because when you really begin to understand the value of your voice, and you move like God tells you to move, and you do it the way that He tells you to do it, there are going to be some people that will come, and they're going to criticize what you're called to do. And oftentimes they criticize it because they don't have the confidence to do what they're called to do, right? So don't let these numbers of followers that you see, don't let that fool you and think that I got here without opposition or without criticism. No, I was criticized, because when you use your voice, you are going to ruffle some feathers. When you use your voice and really speak and do things the way that God has told you to do them, then guess what? You're going to make some people upset. Somebody is not going to like what you have to say. Someone somewhere is going to disagree, because they want you to begin to question the value and the validity of your voice. They want you to, okay, to stop speaking. They want you to stop growing that business. They want you to stop talking about marriages or whatever. They want you to stop. And here's the thing, if you allow yourself to be identified or validated by their applause, then you will crumble at the sight of their criticism. That's why you have to understand that, again, the value in your voice is found in who God says you are, who He has created you to be, how He has created you to do what He's called you to do. And so that's why, again, even when there was criticism and opposition and people's perceptions that were way off, and they had no idea what they were talking about, I still had to continue to use my voice, right? And because I continue to use my voice, I have become a voice to the voiceless. I had to be on the front line a lot of times to go ahead and speak and do things that people, so that other people who were also called to do something similar that I'm doing, that they would have the courage and the confidence to do it. So I had to say some things that weren't popular. I had to say some things that were a little bit contrary to popular belief, right? Because I understand the value of my voice. I understand that I have literally been anointed to help people shift and, and change the broken belief systems that are the reason that their life looks like it looks, right? So I had to come against some things that I grew up believing. I had to come against some things that I was taught growing up, and now I know the truth. So I had to begin to speak a different language, right? And so when people don't want to come out of what they come out of, or they feel like you're attacking what they believe or what they stand for, then the criticism is going to come. But I want you to know, again, that there is value in your voice. There's value in your voice. Somebody type that again in the comments. There is value in my voice, because I want you to not just say it, but I want you to believe it. There is value in my voice. Right? And so, how do you know there's value in your voice? Because there's always something or someone that has tried to silence you. There's been things that have happened to try to ruin your reputation. There have been lies that have been told on you to in efforts to get people not to believe you, right? There have been things that have tried to shut you up. So there have been situations that you've gone through that have tried to keep you from talking or from saying things. That's how you know there's value in your voice, because there's always something after your voice to try to stop you from speaking truth or sharing your story, right? So that is evidence that there's value in your voice. When you say something to someone, no matter how small or insignificant you think it is, and they tell you, thank you because I needed that today, or that changed my life, right? Or you were in an environment where you had to stand up and say something because things were wrong, and you had to be the one on the front line to say, no, this is not right. That's because there is value in your voice, right? When you had to stand and say, you know what, I'm going to create a business or a program that people can actually get results from and not be ripped off by other people who are just after their money, and you go and you do that and you make a stand, that's because there is value in your voice. When you speak life into your children, because your children are discouraged, and then they get a smile on their face and they have enough strength to get up and give it another try, it's because there is value in your voice. When you're able to speak into the life of that girl that was in that relationship, and she thought that was love, and you were able to tell her, no, he does not love you, he does not value you, and she got the strength to get out of that toxic relationship. You know why? Because there is value in your voice. When you were able to speak to someone who was going down the wrong path, maybe it was a young lady who went down a path of promiscuity, and you said, girl, come here, let me show you something, you are valuable, you do not have to give your body away like that. And she came back and she thanked you for what you said to her that day. That's because there is value in your voice. When you were talking to someone who was on the verge of suicide because they thought that was the end all to be all, and you went and you spoke into their life and they decided that they should live, that's because there is value in your voice. When you stood in front of that school and you told them that they need to make these changes so that they can serve not just one race, but they can serve all races, that's because there is value in your voice. Okay? When you stood at church and you gave and you didn't allow fear to stop you, and you began to preach and teach and prophesy and pray and lay hands on people, and they were saved, set free, and delivered, that's because there is value in your voice. All right? When you're able to use your voice to change the trajectory of somebody's life who literally didn't even understand they were going down the wrong path, when you were able to talk to somebody that didn't even know that they had any value, and because you stopped that day and you told them how beautiful, how powerful they were, and they believe you, that's because there is value in your voice. When you're able to encourage your husband like nobody else can, when he's depressed, when the whole world is against him and he feels like his back is up against the wall, but when you whisper not sweet nothings, but when you can whisper in his ear and he gets his oomph back and he's able to go out and face the world another day, that's because there is value in your voice. When you're the one that has been called to change your family history and legacy, because you decided that poverty is not your portion, that's because there is value in your voice. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying that you need to understand that there is value in your voice. Your voice is going to impact lives. Your voice is going to influence lives. Your voice is going to increase lives. There is value in your voice. And that's what I wanted to come on here and say to you all today, because I had to go through that process myself and understand that the only reason there was an attempt to silence me and to keep me from talking and using my voice is because there's value in my voice. Because when it goes out, it begins to take people out of a position of discouragement and defeat. It begins to give people the confidence to do what they're called to do. It begins to allow people to really activate their authenticity and know that who they are is good enough, who they have been is good enough, and who they will be is good enough. So I understand that now. So I no longer I made the decision that I'm going fully into accepting the call to the stage to speak into the lives of people all over the globe because there is value in my voice. So again, I want you all to say that in the comment section. Just blow up the chat box. Everybody on this broadcast with this quote, there is value in my voice. I want y'all to blow up the chat box real quick. I'm going to give y'all a second to do that. There is value in my voice. Come on now. There is value in my voice. Whether you're talking to one person or you're talking to 10,000, there is value in my voice. Whether you're talking to the boy on the block or the man in the boardroom, whomever you're talking to, there is value in your voice. So I want y'all again, just blow up this chat box. There is value in my voice. You have something that needs to be said. You have something that needs to be heard. And when you open your mouth and speak, you are going to shift the lives of people, all the people that you come in contact with. I don't care if it's on your job, at Walmart, at church. I don't care if it's sitting at home on the phone conversation. Whenever it's, excuse me, you feel the need to encourage someone, trust that there is value in your voice. You are planting a seed. You may be watering a seed that has already been planted, but there is value in your voice. So I want you to continue to say in this chat box, we're going to blow this thing up today. There is value in my voice. You will no longer be silent. You will no longer shrink back. You will no longer try to satisfy the egos of others. You will no longer conform to what's comfortable around you. You're going to say what needs to be said, and you're going to do what needs to be done. There is value in your voice. There is value in your voice. So continue to say that in the chat box. There is value in your voice. What you say matters. Somebody needs what you have. Right now, someone literally needs what you have. And so the next thing that I'm going to have you to do is I want you all to, in the comments, give someone in the comments, the person that commented above you, just speak something into their life and encourage them, because you have no idea what someone may be going through. And everything that has been sent to invalidate the value in your voice is reversed now. There is value in your voice. The things that happened in your past are null and void. There is value in your voice. So again, take this time and just one word of a one sentence and encourage the person above you and let them know that there's value in their voice. Say something, whatever you believe will encourage them, or just speak, something that's going to change or shift the trajectory of their life, because you have no idea what people may be going through. I love it. This is good. This is so beautiful. So the instruction now, after you have said there is value in your voice, now you encourage the person above you. Give them something that they can take away with them from this live, because you have no idea what they're in need of. I love it. I love it. I see Kizzy has said to Tiffany Rashay, there's value in your voice. Your later will be greater than your past, and your best days are yet to come. Tiffany says to Kizzy, continue to go forth. You are amazing. Do y'all see how beautiful this is when we use our voices to add value to the lives of other people? Don't ever take for granted or carelessly speak, because you have no idea. Stephanie says to Alicia, there is value in your voice. Be proud of what you have to offer others. Tranika says to Tiffany, there's value in your voice. You are destined for greatness. Don Renee says to Alicia, there's value in your voice. You are needed. I love this. If you haven't shared this broadcast, make sure that you share and invite others to join, because I really just feel like there is really something powerful taking place here. That this is one of those broadcasts that you don't know why you showed up here, but you'll know before you leave. Alicia, you are getting so much encouragement. I love it. She says, there's value in your voice. You are needed. Devonna says to Alicia, your focus in this season will be laser sharp. Your eyes are open and increased in every area, is given in every area. Don't stop speaking. Tiffany says to Tranika, there is value in your voice. Stay firm. Alicia says, great prosperity is yours. Leah says to girl@girl.com, there's value in your voice. You are the light of the world. Let your light shine. Brittany says to Tiffany, when you open your mouth, the heavens open and demons flee. You are important. This is so beautiful. Continue to encourage and speak value into the lives of whomever you see now that you want to encourage, whether it's the person above you or the person who come into beneath you. Let's go and make sure that we are using our voices to add value to the lives of others. There is value in your voice. Excuse me. Yes, Celia says there is value in my voice. Absolutely. Hey, Pam, how are you? There is value in your voice. Hey, Tanisha. We are using the value of our voices to add value to the lives of others. And so, what I have instructed them to do right now is to begin to use their voice to add value to someone who's on this live. So it could be, again, the person that is ahead of you, beneath you, or whomever you would like to just add value to their lives by offering them some words of encouragement. Miss you too. You got to come pick me up in a Tesla now. And thank you also, Dr. Hughie, for your purchase of my book. I just saw that notification come through, so I wanted to acknowledge that while I was here. How are y'all feeling now? Somebody talk back to me. Tanisha says to Pam, this will be a season of great overflow for you. Devonna Brown says to Dunn Renee, you are a fire starter to this world and your flame will never go out. Alexander says to Devonna, you are ordained for greatness. Awesome. Thank you, Miguel. Kizzy says to Pam, this will be a season of reaping and manifestation for you. Those things your heart so desires, God will soon bring them to pass. Don't give up and keep the faith in Christ Jesus. This is beautiful, y'all. I didn't even expect this to happen, but this is really amazing what's going on. I don't know if y'all understand what's really going on. The value in our voices is being validated, and you all are stepping into a new level of courage and confidence that you haven't had before. Some of you wouldn't even previously comment um on a broadcast, but now you're understanding the value in your voice and you are speaking out. You said I was at the event. Yes, I remember you. I didn't know that that was you when I just looked at it, but yes, I remember you. I can't forget your beautiful face. Brittany says, my God, I was just telling my cousin that I want to talk, but I don't like how I sound recorded. Thank you for this. There is value in my voice. Absolutely. Tanisha says, I've told the Lord I don't like my voice either, but remember, heaven is voice activated. Open your mouth. Your voice is a vocal fingerprint. I love that. She says your voice is a vocal fingerprint. That is powerful. Stephanie says, I am becoming more confident. So shift that and say, I am confident, because when you bring when you bring it into the present tense, you give it power to operate in the present tense. So you are more confident. Sarissa says to Courtney, you have been silent too long. It's time for you to release the value in your voice. Oh, I've loved that. Yes, you are confident. Absolutely. So again, just continue to use your voice to add value to someone's life today by simply choosing a person that you see on this broadcast and speaking something into them, encouraging them, giving them a call to move forward in what they were called or created to do. Because again, there is value in our voice. Pam says each of I think she meant each of us has value in your voice. Your voice is an activator of your prayers. Peace and blessings. Absolutely. Devonna says, I don't know how I got here today, but this word was an answer prayer that I needed. There is value and power in my voice. Yes, absolutely. Kizzy says to Miss Dr. Hughie, God has not forgotten about you. Your work is not in vain. Those things that you have done secretly in this season, God will reward you openly. Man, this is so good, y'all. This is so good. And to think I almost didn't use my voice today. To think I almost said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll just, I'll wait. But there's value in our voices. Dunn Renee says to Stephanie, you are loved. And I speak that you will begin to see more of it. That is so good. So good. Excuse me. Hey, Jessica. She says, this was awesome and different too. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely different. But I just chose to use my voice. That's simply all I did. I'm here because I use my voice. I recognized and realized that there's value in it. And I just decided to say, yes, I will use it. Thank you, Tranika. Tranika says, thank you for sharing your voice, Dr. Dean. There's value in your voice. Thank you. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I was sharing, with you all, that I just fully accepted the call to the stage to speak, to the speaking. I've done it, but I didn't fully accept it until this week. And it took me 10 years to get here because of other traumatic things and experiences that happened in my life. And as I share with you all, as soon as I did, I accepted it. There were some things that immediately happened to try to silence me yet again, but that just really solidified the value of my voice and why God is saying, go forth and speak. Go ahead and speak. There are international stages that I will grace, that I'm gracing, right? There are international stages. There are rooms with thousands of people. There are major doors that have opened for me, and I'm walking into them fully, accepting the value in my voice. And I know that when I step on that stage, that lives are changed forever. When I step on that stage, it's going to shift the trajectory of people's lives. When I step on that stage, I'm going to break broken belief systems, because belief systems become birthing systems. When I step on that stage, there are going to be relationships restored and healed. There are going to be businesses that skyrocket and accelerate. When I step on that stage, there's going to be so much healing that takes place in the lives of other people. So I step on the stage not because I want the spotlight, but I step on the stage because I know that there is impact that I'm supposed to make. And so I'm stepping on that stage unapologetically. I'm stepping on the stage authentically. I'm stepping on that stage to say what needs to be said and not what people think they're going to convince me to say. I'm stepping on that stage to say what needs to be said so that lives can forever be changed. So I am stepping onto the stage 100% just the way that God has created me to, and going to say what needs to be said. That keeps ringing to me. I'm saying what needs to be said. I'm saying what needs to be said, not what's going to tickle feathers or fancies, but I'm saying what needs to be said, because there is so much. People are in this place where they are so stuck and they can't get out because there's not enough um that are saying what needs to be said, right? And I thank God for how he did what he did and the journey that he took me on, because everything that God has allowed me to build, the platforms and all of that stuff, he did it. He did it. He did it in a way that nobody can say, "Oh, I did this." He did it in a way so that I will always know who my source is. And he did it in a way that he helped me to activate my own authenticity, own it 100%. I'm 100% who I am. And so he allowed me to go through the journey to activate my authenticity and own who I am, so that when I go and stepped onto a stage, I'm not going to try to conform to what's comfortable for anyone, but I'm going there to be who I am, because there is value in my voice. And I have to say what he said and what he's telling me to say, because again, there's value in my voice. And so he would not allow me to be identified by anyone's anybody else or any other platform to affirm um who he's called me to be. He affirmed it, and he let me know that who and how he's created me to be is the exact way he wants me to be when I step on those stages. Thank you. Thank you. Kizzy says you will do well, Dr. Shamika Dean. Go forth in Jesus' name. Thank you. There is power in my voice. And I had to understand it, because I always was wondered, like, why. There was a point in time where I had gone through, for some of you all, you don't know this, but I have gone through abusive relationships. I have been this is a trigger warning. So for those who may be sensitive or this may trigger them, but I have gone through sexual assault. I have been raped twice. I have been physically beaten. I've been emotionally abused. I've been through rejection and all those things. And I kept wondering, even when I would try to tell people, there was always something that was saying, nobody's going to believe you. No one's going to listen to you. Don't say that. They're going to look at you funny. Don't say that. You don't need to say this. But here's the thing. I understand now that there was always an attempt to silence me because of the value in my voice. When I'm able to go forth and show people that you can go through and experience traumatic situations and not have to be bitter. You can go through and experience traumatic situations and not have to be broken. You can go through and experience traumatic situations and still live a healthy, happy, whole life. You can go through traumatic situations and still have the life that God wants you to have and has always desired for you to have. You can go through these traumatic situations and not have to become a woman who hates all men, or someone who is bound by the pain of their past, but you can literally be free out here for real, right? And you can help and speak to people from a healed and whole place, not a perfect place, but from a healed and whole place. And you literally do not have to walk around broken if you don't want to be broken. You don't have to be bitter if you don't want to be bitter. You can have a healthy, happy marriage even if you've had horrible relationships in the past. You can have a healthy, happy marriage even if you've had children out of wedlock. You can have a healthy, happy marriage even if you didn't know how to be a wife when you got married. All of those things. You can have an amazing, successful business even if you failed at building businesses in the past. Even if you were a horrible employee, you can have a successful, thriving, growing business that does record breaking numbers, that defeats odds, defeats statistics, right? You can have all of that even if you didn't know what you were doing when you started. You can have all of those things. All of those things. And so I understand there's value in my voice. And I even remember when I started to share with people the success, right, that I had in my company, and people were saying, oh, you're bragging, oh, you're being prideful, all those things. And I realized again that there was an attempt to silence me because there's value in my voice. Why? Because when a young girl from a small town of 1,500 people that didn't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of, didn't know what she was good at, but she literally took the God-given gifts and abilities that she had and was able to build a successful business in spite of all of the opposition that stood against her. When I can stand being a mom at 15 years old and still be able to go forth and build and do all of the things that God had put in my heart to do, and that He's given all of me all of the desires of my heart. Why? Because I understood there is value in my voice. So I have to I had to understand that a lot of the criticism was literally to try to get me to stop talking and to stop sharing, so that as I'm telling people about all these things that are happening in my life, when they ask me how it happens, I can always point them back to Jesus. I can always point them back to God. When I see a young lady who feels like her life is over because she had a child when she was 15 or 16 or whatever the teens, and she feels like it's over, but I'm sitting here telling the story about how I was 15 and pregnant and now I'm at this place in my life. Why? Because there is value in my voice. And when I can talk to the young lady who was angry and so angry because she was hurting inside and nobody heard her, nobody knew what was wrong. They just called her mean, but nobody stopped to ask her what happened to her. But I can literally speak life into her and say, girl, I was you. I used to fight because the sky was blue outside. I can say, I understand your anger because you're hurting and you want to tell somebody, but you feel like nobody's going to believe you, because when what happened to you happened, they told you if you say something, no one's going to believe you, right? Because there is value in my voice. When I can tell the story about how I went from not having a relationship with my mom until now, our relationship is absolutely amazing because there's value in my voice. When I can tell you that there was times when, my mom and I could be in a room and we would just be looking at each other sometimes. But now every time we see each other, we immediately embracing each other with hugs. Okay. Why? Because there's value in my voice. When I can tell people how the relationship you see that I have with my daughter right now, it wasn't always like that, because I was a broken mother raising a broken daughter. But now I can tell the story of with a process that I had to go through, and I healed from the things that I was dealing with so that my children wouldn't have to. Why? Because there's value in my voice. Right? When I can tell people how angry I used to wake up angry, I went to bed angry. If you breathe too hard around me, I was angry. But I share these things that I've gone through because there's value in my voice. And I always tell people it's not bragging, it's a blueprint. I'm showing you what's possible. Everything that I have built, my businesses, my women's empowerment movement, the influence that I have on social media, YouTube, all of those things, it is simply because I used my voice. I told people my story. I share my truth through transparency. Because sometimes people just simply hearing your story helps them to heal. There's value in your voice. I want y'all to type that in the comments again for me. Just blow it up real quick in the comment section. There is value in my voice. There is value in my voice. I love it. Y'all gonna be saying this all week. There is value in my voice. When somebody try to silence you, there is value in my voice. Okay. There's value in my voice. All right, y'all. That's all I have. I told myself I was going to be on here for 15 minutes. I've been on here for almost an hour. But just remember that, take that with you again. If you haven't gotten your copy of Market Like a Mogul, the book, and if you have not registered for your if you have not registered for the book launch, which is going to be February 26th, then make sure you go to shamikadean.com and secure your spot for that. Yes, I love it. I put the link in the comment section. If it doesn't show up on that side, let me know. And what I'll do is I have to send it to you all manually. Let me know if you see the comments to register for Market Like a Mogul, the book launch. Let me know if y'all see that. All right, so I pinned it. So you should be able to go back and watch it. I'm sorry, you should be able to click on it. Um, that's it, y'all. This has been great. Just always remember, I love you all immensely and intensely. And until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow. Actually, I'll be live tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for Mogul Minded Marketing. Again, it's at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time right here on Facebook. So don't forget to tune in for that. Go ahead and put it in your calendar so that you won't miss it and won't be late. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.